Hi, this is Mr. Snow. I'm going to show you how to make error bars and a trend line on Google Sheets. So we're going to start off by needing to find the averages. So I wrote over here, average, and underneath here, I'm going to put insert function, average, and then I'm going to tell it by highlighting which boxes I want it to find the average of. And then a nifty trick here is that I can hover down to the bottom right corner till this turns into a cross. Whoops, try that again. And then click and pull it down, click and drag, and it'll do that same thing for all of these other rows. Now I'm going to find the standard deviation, which I'm going to need for the error bars. So I'm going to do that in kind of a similar way. I can go to insert function and go to all standard deviation. Click on that, highlight what I want it to find the standard deviation of. Whoops, I missed one. Try that again. There we go. Hit enter, do the same thing, go down to the bottom right corner, click and drag so that it does the same for all my other boxes. All right, one last step. I need to find the standard error of the mean, which I'm going to use as my constant for the error bars, plus or minus this value. So standard error of the mean just means you take the standard deviation up here and you divide it by the square root of n, which is how many samples there were in the sample size. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The square root of 7 is about 2.6. So I'm going to take the standard deviation, divide by 2.6, do that for all of these, and now I am ready to graph almost. Unfortunately, Google Sheets doesn't allow you to do standard error of the mean error bars separately for each of these data points very easily without a little workaround, and this is a workaround. You have to lay out in sort of a matrix, put a blank cell here, and then put 0, 5, 10, 15, 20 along one row, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20 down the column just like that, and then where the zeros meet, that's where you're going to put the average, 5.36, but I just rounded. 5 and 5, you see where that intersects, that's 7.9. 10 and 10 intersect at the average of 13.7, etc. for 15 and 20. Now that I got the whole thing, I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Well, that's the bell. And go to Insert Chart. And what I want to do is scroll up to Chart Type. I want a scatter plot. Click on Scatter Plot. And I'm going to click Use Column A as labels in case that wasn't already done. It should look generally linear like it does here. These should be separate colors because now we can go through and add our error bars. So I'm going to click on Customize, click on Series, and instead of Apply to All Series, because I don't want all the error bars to have the same length, I want it to be lengths that correspond to the spread of data for each of those averages. So the SEM, the standard error of the mean for each of the averages. So I'm going to go through each one. It's a little cumbersome, but I'll try to do it quickly. So the blue one is for this value here, which is this for its dot here, the 0, the average or the standard error of the mean at 0, which is 2.16. So if I go down to error bars, I'm going to change this from percent to constant, and I'm going to put in a value which is particular to this one, which is 2.1, we'll call that 2.17. Whoops. 2.17. Okay. And you can see there are blue error bars there, plus 2.17 and minus 2.17. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the second data point, which is going to be 1.8. So click on error bar, go to constant, 1.8. And then I'm going to do the same thing for all the rest. So now I'm on the yellow dot, which is this third value, 2.07. Click on error bar, constant, 2.07. And 2 more to go. Do it for the green one. Error bar, 1.7. That doesn't look right. Oh. See, that's why you gotta look at it as you go. That did not look right to the eye, and that's because I forgot to put constant. Now that looks appropriate. So now we got one more. Data series number 5, the orange one. Click on error bar. Remember to hit constant this time. And the last one is 1.93. And there we go. They all vary a little bit, but they look somewhat the same. Last thing we need to do is a trend line, which should be easy, but because I separated these into separate series, it's actually a little bit harder. So I need to take one additional step, which is go back to setup and add series. I'm going to add a separate series for period 5 average, which is J cells J, what is that? J2 through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, through J6 actually. I don't want to do the unknown. So that should do it. Let's see how that looks. 1, 2, 3, 4. That didn't quite work. I'll pause this, figure it out. Alright, so I fixed it. It should be J1 through J6. For some reason, it likes to have that title in there. And now it should overlap with your other data points because since it is the same data points. We're just grouping them together as one series, which will allow us to go to Customize and do a trend line that we will do apply to all series. No, sorry. Apply to data series 6, which is this light blue one that I just made, or this bluish green one that I just made. Click on trend line. That'll give us the trend line. We also need, for this particular lab, the label of using the equation in the y equals mx plus b format. Finally, I'm going to do the r squared, which gives us a sense of how linear it is. 0.977 is almost perfectly linear, which 1.0 would be, and we are done.